Did you know that some people know how to metal emboss without a big shot? Do you know how to do that? Well, in today's video, I am going to teach you how to create this beautiful metal embossed piece without using the big shot. So stay tuned. In order to start creating this beautiful metal embossed notebook, I am going to be using this new mask that we carry at the Add a Little Dazzle boutique. And this is a beautiful piece, and it's what I used here to metal emboss this butterfly onto this piece. In addition, I'm going to teach you how to use this Dreamweaver Mosaic Swirls stencil. And using these two items and a couple of more tools along with Add a Little Dazzle craft metal sheets, you can create this beautiful metal embossed notebook without ever touching a big shot. So let's go ahead and get started. To begin the process of metal embossing without a big shot, the first thing you're going to need is a cutting pad, and you're going to place it on a flat surface. Now, you need to make sure that this cutting pad has no markings on it and that it's only used for embossing with stencils. So once you have your cutting plate, you're also going to need to purchase this Deerfoot refiner tool, a paper stump, and this suede piece. And these are the basic tools that you are going to learn how to use today to see how you can metal emboss without using the big shot. Here I've taken a 4x7 piece of Add a Little Dazzle craft metal sheet. And I'm going to take my stencil and I'm going to place it on my cutting plate. The one thing that you need to remember is that these stencils and masks have this little etching right here. It's usually a code or the company's website. You want to make sure that it's facing down so that when you are embossing, that little etching there will not show up. You're going to take this mask and you're going to determine where you want it. And I'm just flipping it over like that and thinking I want it right there. So I'm going to flip this piece over and I'm going to place my stencil and my metal sheet on my cutting pad. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this paper stump and I'm going to rub over the metal with the paper stump. And you're going to start seeing that the stencil is coming through. And you're going to keep on doing this until the entire image is visible. So as you can see here, I've gone ahead and rubbed over this entire piece until my image has come through. If you notice that there are bumps here, just take your paper stump and flatten it out, as the paper stump ensures that you're able to flatten out the areas that you don't want embossed without damaging the metal. Once you've done this, you're going to take your Deerfoot refiner tool and you're going to outline all the areas. As you can see here, making sure that during this whole process you have left the stencil in place. And so I'm just going to go through and do this for the entire piece. And then if I need to, I'm going to come back in here with my paper stump to flatten those areas on the inside until you have finished this entire piece. So now that I've finished this piece, I can remove this, and if I want to create more of a puffed look on these embossed areas, I'm going to take my suede piece, I'm going to place it on top of my cutting plate. I'm going to flip this piece over, and then I'm going to take my paper stump and just rub over that embossed area. And that just helps give the butterfly or whatever image you're creating a more raised effect. You don't have to do this, but this is an option. And as you can see, there it's raising a little bit. If I want to do it more, then flip it over and do that. You need to make sure that you're using the paper stump and that the suede piece is underneath. And then you're going to come back in here, and if you need to refine it, remove the suede, come in with your Deerfoot refiner tool and go over it. Now, as you can see in this notebook, I created two butterflies. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece, place it down here, kind of determine where I want it to be. Make sure that etched piece right there on the stencil is facing down, away from the metal where you're going to emboss, and go over it again with my paper stump and refining it. And I love embossing metal without the big shot because it allows me to create bigger metal embossed pieces. And not only that, as you can see, I can take my same image and place it in more than one place on my metal sheet, which is not something that I would normally be able to do if I was running this through the big shot or using an embossing folder. And so, again, you're going to continue rubbing over it and then go back over it with your Deerfoot refiner tool. As you can see here, I have my two beautiful butterflies embossed on there. And now I want to add some more texture to my background without using a big shot. And so I'm going to take my stencil and place it on my cutting plate and place my metal sheet on top. I'm going to take my paper stump and I'm going to start rubbing over the metal. And as you can see, it's embossing the metal, but it's not coming in contact or damaging my butterflies at all. Now you're going to notice that the stencil ends right here and that my metal continues on. Well, that's not a problem, and I'm going to show you how to continue embossing without a big shot. Now you'll notice that here I rubbed over a little bit of the butterfly, and I'm going to show you how to fix that in just a second, because that's a very common mistake. Anytime that you make a mistake on any part of the metal, all you need to do is take your paper stump and think of it as your eraser, because it will erase whatever you want to remove and will allow you to then go over the metal and continue emboss. And then I'm going to take my metal sheet piece and I'm just going to adjust it. And because it's a mixed pattern, it's not going to be anything that will cause the background image to be messed up. As you can see here, I went over on the butterfly area, so I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to come in with my paper stump and I'm going to erase it. And as you can see, it's been removed. And so now that I've completed this piece, I'm ready to create the back of my notebook. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm not going to be using the butterfly stencil. So again, just place it there and start going over it with my paper stump. As you can see, it is very easy to metal emboss without a big shot. And this will help you to really take your crafting to the next level and really explore the different pieces that you can create that are larger than an embossing folder or even the stencil that you're working with. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to emboss Add a Little Dazzle craft metal sheets without a big shot. I invite you to visit me at www.addalittledazzle.com/shop-now, and there you can purchase my Add a Little Dazzle craft metal sheets, both of these stencils along with all the tools that you need for creating this beautiful piece. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at monica@addalittledazzle.com. Thanks, and have a dazzling day.